Hello, this is Mark from Productive Computing and Productive Computing University. Thanks for joining us on this video. We are talking about the FileMaker 2024 release here on June 4th, 2024. Now, for those of you crafty developers who are paying attention to version numbers, technically under the hood, this is FileMaker 21. So our list starts off with integration with artificial intelligence, and we're presented with a list of script steps along with some calculation functions that work together in order to do this. You can set up a prompt for your users where your users can ask a question. The AI can interpret that question and then return results back. Those results can either be in the form of text as an answer, or it can go and become a query in your database to return actual records based on a question. So that's one aspect of it. There's other aspects too, where you can take a collective group of data, parts of it, all of it, certain fields, certain labels, whatever you want to do, and you can train the AI to your specific data. These are called embeddings, and you vectorize the embeddings. So you change the words into numbers, something the computer can understand. And what that allows you to do is build an intelligence in your data where a word might be associated with another word. And when you do a search for one word, it might be able to say, and all of these other records are somewhat related to this one. And here is the ranking on how close they are related to each other. And that concept is also something that this particular feature set supports. Now, learning all this can be a little overwhelming. There's a lot to it, and there's a long way you can go. I mean, you can go very far and very deep in this, or you can start simple and easy. So in any case, I think that there needs to be some guidance here. And I'm still learning, and I'm sure a lot of us are still learning. A lot of this is new. A lot of this is only weeks old from the actual providers, because they're always offering new things with their API that we're just now figuring out how to incorporate these new things. So with that in mind, we are going to be creating a course here at Productive Computing University. It'll be some form of an AI with FileMaker integration course, something you definitely want to look at and potentially take advantage of. And speaking of AI, here's a quick overview of the new LLM features in FileMaker 2024, summarized by ChatGPT 4o, and then read using my professionally cloned voice from 11 Labs IO. FileMaker 2024 introduces new script steps and functions for integrating AI, such as configuring AI accounts, inserting embeddings, performing semantic finds, and logging AI calls. These features support both OpenAI and specific Hugging Face models. Additionally, the multilingual V2 model offers support for nearly 30 languages, enhancing global accessibility. Setting up involves obtaining an API key, configuring script steps, and using functions like getEmbedding and cosine similarity to enhance data interaction and search capabilities. This brings advanced AI functionalities directly into your FileMaker custom apps, streamlining processes and expanding the reach of your applications. So keep your eyes on that, but it's far more than this one video could contain to talk about all of these script steps and these functions and how they work together. And most importantly, not just what they can do, but how you can create a use case that makes sense from a practicality standpoint. What would a business person be typically interested in when it comes to incorporating AI? Next, we have the Open Quickly feature, which is a brand new feature. Perhaps this will be one of the best loved features by developers because it makes it a little quicker to get our work done. As an example, I have a file here, an Execute Data API FileMaker file. And if I incorporate the quick keys Command K, it'll bring up a little box here that says Open Quickly. And then I can type literally any letter or any phrase or any set of letters. I've typed the letter A, and it's looking for any layout with the letter A anywhere within the layout name, anywhere within the script name. It brings up my scripts and the files that it knows of on my computer or that I've worked with in the past. So, in fact, these are all the files I've worked with today, I believe. So, I like the icons are clearly defined here. Now, if I hold the Option key, you'll see that the script icon goes from a script to an execute icon. So, if I were to pick this script, read tasks, for example, and click on it without holding the Option key, I go into the script immediately, and I'm able to immediately edit it. So, it's a quick way to find that script. Open Quickly also can execute the script. If I hold the Option key while looking at this, I can click on Edit a Task, for example, and it'll bring up my script to edit a task. So that's the Open Quickly. It works with files, layouts, and scripts. Then we have some script enhancements. Some superpowers have been added to the perform script on server with callback. This is the notion where you call a server-side script and then the script returns by calling another script. So for example, if you were running a large report and that report was to create a PDF and then put it somewhere, you might want to be alerted when that report was complete. So you could send the report off, but tell it to call back a script that says your report is complete. So once that's done, it can alert the user when it's complete. The perform script on server with callback script step now includes the state option to specify whether the callback script should pause, resume, exit, or halt a currently running script. And you can now call a script by name in a calculation to more easily customize the flow of scripts. So it gives us a little bit more options when calling the perform script on server with callback script step. Next, we have the Execute FileMaker Data API. Let me show you that one because it's quite interesting. I've got a demo file for that. By the way, this file is readily available for download, completely unlocked, and completely for free if you enroll in the course called FileMaker Features and Free Resources available at Productive Computing University. Besides this file, we have dozens of other files that you can download and use for your beginning FileMaker development, or if you are an advanced developer but you just need to get your hands on something that shows you a demo of something advanced like what we're about to see here, then go ahead and download it. So this is the Execute Data API FileMaker script step. It's a single script step that allows you to define a request formatted as JSON text, and you just give it certain pieces of information and it can act on data for you in your database without calling any other script steps. And the beauty of this is it's contextually agnostic. In other words, you don't have to be on a certain layout in order to run this script step successfully. It goes to the layout for you, it executes on it, and then comes back with data without you ever leaving the layout, without you having to manage windows, layouts, even records. It's just send it on its way and then it'll come back when it's done, which is milliseconds in most cases. So in this particular example, we are running a script called read tasks. So it goes to this layout, it queries the title field and says, look for any and all tasks, all records within the task title field, limit the return to 100 records and offset it by 1, which just means start at the first record, pull the first 100 back, and then it'll return it as JSON, which can be extremely handy for working with APIs or with JavaScript in a web viewer. That's essentially why this script step was created in the first place. You could call this particular Execute Data API script step, and it prepares your data in JSON format, which is very useful for those use cases. So let me show you adding a task. I'll add a task. I'll call it new task. And there's a new task in my table. And then I can edit that same task, task ID 273, and edited. There it is. Then I can delete the task, record ID 273, and I can duplicate a task. So before I do that, let me add a bunch of tasks here, add multiple tasks. That just runs my script in a loop, but still calls this very same command, Execute FileMaker Data API. In this case, we're just telling it to go to this layout, provide the action create, and then fill in the title field with the word title, and then we iterate with the iterator 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like you see here. So that's a quick step to do that. Now, if I wanted to duplicate title number 4, I don't need to actually be on it. I can just say duplicate a task, and it'll say what record ID. I'll say 277, and now it duplicated that. So you might be asking yourself, well, why do I need all this when I can already do this with new record, set field, delete record, duplicate record? Why do I need this particular script step? Well, I'll say it again. This script step was really designed for people working with JavaScript and the add-on technology and a web viewer, and those people that wanted to collect data in preparation for an API. So whenever you're working with advanced technologies like that, it's much easier to work in the land of JSON and in a world where you don't necessarily need to call a bunch of script steps to lose your context. You just need to call this one script step to get the job done. In any case, this file is available so you can see the different actions you can perform and exactly how to format your JSON. Then we have the configure local notifications. Notifications is your ability to call the internal notification system of your operating system, very much like you'd get if someone sent you a text and you were sitting at your desk and you saw the Messages app come up and the text were to appear at the top right, in this case on a Mac. then that's very much what you can do here with the FileMaker application itself. This is something that we already had on Go with the mobile phones and the iPads. So you already had notification awareness and capability. Now we bring it to the desktop level, which I think is very good. So if you wanted to queue up a reminder for 3 hours from now, you could run a script to queue up a reminder, and 3 hours from now, the reminder will appear. So that's configure local notifications. Then we have some other minor things, some error logging when it comes to WebDirect. We have the enhancements to revert transaction, which now can be performed with subscripts. I think that's the key to this particular enhancement. So just taking these existing technologies and functionalities and taking them a step further so that they have more usefulness in more situations. Insert from URL now has the SIG v4 URL option. That's a pretty powerful option. I have another video that you can check out, which talks about the new WebDirect and its ability to, or I should say the new web viewer and its ability to do real-time communications, RTC. And I demonstrate how we can technically run a Zoom meeting inside a web viewer inside a FileMaker. So that's pretty cool. Check out that video. I'll put a link below this video. We have some functions to make our world of JSON a little easier, where we can have these specific commands to add a new record without specifying a record number per se in an array. And then we have the ability to get the last record in an array so that it makes it just a little easier to work with JSON. These combined components will allow you to actually save lines of code. It'll actually reduce lines of code and potentially reduce a little bit of complexity too. Less you have to manage, but not by much. It's a small incremental improvement, but it is something that will be useful and helpful for developers, especially if you work with JSON all the time. We have an additional function here, which was inspired by the original function called GetLiveText. This is a Mac-only function which uses machine learning to extract text from an image. In this new function, we can get live text as JSON, which not only gives us formatted JSON text for more structure, but it also includes the X and Y coordinates, giving us a relative location as to where that text was extracted from the image. Then we have some application improvements, which you can read here. This is a good one. Repetitions now support file paths. I have a dedicated video on that. I'll put a link below for that one. Upgrade considerations. As with most any software, upgrading to the latest version is in your best interest, not only to get the latest features, but also the more reliable performance and with the tightest security. With this version in particular, long-standing security issues have been addressed, and we strongly recommend upgrading your version of FileMaker to the latest 2024 version. Below this video, you'll find a link to a white paper describing the vulnerabilities addressed, as well as ways to immediately protect systems that you're using today, even if you are using an older version of FileMaker. And we have some other components that have been updated, and then the rest of this are various bug fixes that I'll let you read through, which is good that we continue to improve the product. So like I mentioned before, keep an eye on the description below this video, because we'll put additional links to other videos that we create around this 2024 platform. And keep your eyes open for new courses and new course material at productivecomputinguniversity.com, specifically that one about AI. If you really want to capture and understand AI as it relates to FileMaker, taking advantage of these new script steps, and then just general AI knowledge of what you need to know when it comes to integrating AI with your given database. Thanks for joining me on this video. I'm Mark, and we'll catch you on the next one.